Well, boy, I definitely do not think that this is a good Christmas present.
Get ready to jet to fun with Secret Island. Fly in your own private plane, then unlock the hidden massage room.
Whoa, secret room!
Kick back with...
No, do not unlock it. Do not redeem it. As of course, holy cow. We got some very interesting bombshell updates and revelations about the story of the decade, a story which some very rich, powerful people want to go away. All of this as Pam Bondi was recently testifying to the Senate, and I thought her interactions were very interesting. Now, obviously, I think she lied in some of the interactions, but some of the comebacks she had, actually smart. And we'll go into it, surprisingly. All of this as we now have more official blockages of the Epstein files by this Republican government, as Alex Jones came out and said the quiet part out loud here, confirming essentially all of our worst fears. As some people argue, we need to not release the files. What are their arguments? We're going to be going over that and a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you appreciate these type of controversial, deep down the rabbit hole type of videos, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel, after releasing how the former FBI spied on members of the Senate, by the way, illegal, Watergate 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, especially about all the spying and sabotage and absolutely underhanded illegal activity conducted by the leftist Democrats. A big move is a lot of people are saying arrests when, and a lot of other people are saying we don't even care until you actually do something about this. Like, we get it. They did something illegal. There's an outcry. Republicans go back to sitting on their hands. Change that. And the person that a lot of people point the direct responsibility and blame on is, of course, Pam Bondi, who, of course, was just grilled by the Senate. We'll go into that grilling in a little bit here. But Kash Patel, after releasing that big bombshell information that we did a video about yesterday, and it is big, and it is a pretty big bombshell, says, quote, the transparency I promised is being delivered by the FBI only to be community noted, with the community note saying the Trump campaign promised to release the full Epstein files, which it still has not done. Yeah. And then they list Forbes here, an article. Can FBI release full Epstein files? Why Kash Patel claims are misleading. Yeah, he has not been the most honest with us. Under Director Kash Patel, FBI is covering up Trump's relationship with Epstein. I don't think it's just Trump, okay? Now, a lot of people are like, Trump's guilty. Well, there's a lot of actual circumstantial information and witnesses and people coming to court saying, yeah, he actually didn't do anything. So I wouldn't trust just people like, oh, no. But this whole thing is extremely weird, extremely sketchy, as Kash Patel has been facing a lot of criticisms. Even when he does this, listen, many people have sent criminal referrals to Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi's like, doo-doo-doo, oopsie-daisy. As a lot of people are saying, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with what she has been doing, as a lot of people expect accountability. As now she was just grilled by members of the Senate about the Epstein list. This was a very interesting interaction, and then we're going to play another kind of interaction, and then we're going to talk about Alex Jones's theory, which I think is hitting the nail on the head here. And it's a big black pill to swallow, or to suppository.
February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review. End of quote. You then produce...
She's already smiling. Uh-oh, here we go.
Already public information.
And she got the cue card. She's like, all right, I've been ready for this. This has been the main issue that has been plaguing her reputation, the Trump administration, and a lot of other people underneath her, like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, that allegedly are pushing forward more transparency. And a lot of people say the buck stops with her. So there's probably PR crisis management campaigns that are like, cue card, you're going to be out. Emergency. Get it. We got the perfect wording. We got the perfect way to address this. And she kind of came out aggressive. Some of the things she pointed out are important to point out.
No client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Now, he should have been a little bit more careful. He said, why did you say you have the Epstein client? Because now she has the wiggle room, right? Now she gets the wiggle. Just say Epstein information, right? Because she did. She talked about, I have truckloads of documents. There's terabytes of videos. She said openly, yep, we're going to do it right because we're going to make sure the victims aren't hurt here. And then the victim was like, hey, you guys hurt us. Shut up. Don't talk. What?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files. And
No, she said it was on her desk, and then she disappeared, right? She was like, oh, I got the files. And then it's like, oh, yeah, the FBI obfuscated this. Then she was like, they sent me truckloads. I have truckloads. I have terabytes of videos. And then the main head FBI guy at the SDNY that covered it up and never gave her everything. They gave her a little file. Like, here you go. Here's the old stuff that's publicly released. She decided to make a binder of it, a PR stunt out of it. And he's like, hey, come here, right-wing influencers. Here, look, we got the Epstein files. Here. All the old information that people already knew was already public. We just redacted it a little bit more and we rehashed it, gave it to you. Go, boom. And then people are like, what? She's like, and I'm going to ask the FBI now for more files. I'm going to ask the guys who were part of this criminal cover-up operation from the 90s to incriminate themselves. And I'm like, this is what you're doing? And I'm like, at that moment, I'm like, I just knew we're not getting anything. I was like, you're asking permission. You're asking the FBI to turn themselves in. You're asking criminals to incriminate themselves. That is not going to happen. I thought they had a whistleblower. I thought the way that they were talking, because they were talking crazy. They were talking wild. They're like, we're going to release it all. Burn it all down. I was like, okay, I'm in. Before playing the rest of this clip, because I think the response is pretty eye-opening, to say the least here, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. We got a lot of great supplements. One of the supplements, essential fatty fish oils. As Brian Johnson this morning was talking about them, I remember waking up. I was doing my morning health routine. I was out there getting sunlight and doing a little walk, making sure I was stretching, making sure, I was starting my day right. It's good to start it with a lymphatic drainage. Anyway, he writes, omega-3s help muscles recover faster. 40% less soreness at 24 hours. 30% less damage markers post-exercise. With EPA, DHA, athletes maintain muscle strength and range of motion. Those on placebo lost up to 40% of muscle strength and 20% of range of motion. That's big. Why? Because the older you get, the harder it is to exercise. And that's why we have some of the best sourced from small fish. No heavy metals, no mercury, no parasites, no nonsense. Fish oils here on wearechange.shop just for $21. We only have 61 of them left, by the way. This is our second best seller because people use it and they're like, this is great. Now listen, when I started to get in shape, because I used to have, instead of 2 chins, I used to have 4. I'm like, it was bad. It was horrible. And I had a big belly and I was traveling and I was taking care of my health and I wasn't sleeping and I was eating crappy food. And I'm like, I'm getting panic attacks and anxiety for no reason at all. I was like, I feel like I'm like being attacked by a bear nonstop. I was like, what else going on here? And I was like, I got to take care of my health. And I started working out. When I started working out, my goodness, the soreness. Like I did one workout with one muscle group, sore for a week. I'm like, this is not normal. And I'm like, how do I fix that? And they're like, supplement. I'm like, okay. Your body's probably missing some key nutrients. Some key food, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? I had a fitness guru be like, take some fish oils. I took some fish oils, started to feel better, and I'm like, okay, all right, I like this. My doctor was like, take some more fish oils, and I'm like, okay. And listen, it works. So, especially if you're like older, like I am, trying to get back in shape, it's just like every time after a workout, like the next day, I remember like 2 days. This is how bad in shape I was. I did a workout. 3 days later, I would feel sore from the workout. I'm like, why? Why? What is this? And I'm like, I can't walk up the stairs. I finally started doing leg day that I neglected for 10, 15 years, as you can see, with my shrimp legs. And I'm like, But then I started to take fish oils, and I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. And again, really great stuff. This is good stuff, too. Walnuts, awesome for your brain. Really, really great stuff. Impressive data. Dr. Rhonda Patrick loves fish oils. I listened to her, and you might too. wearechange.shop. Anyway, let's continue on with this video. We got a lot of important stuff to get into. Sorry, I'd go on tangents.
I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see.
You did review it. You did a PR stunt about it. Then you asked for truckloads. You got truckloads. What happened with those truckloads, lady? I would have interrupted. Like, what? Where are the truckloads? What happened to the truckloads of documents?
Excuse me. Our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client.
The memo was this memo released that wasn't even signed by anyone. Be like, no blackmail list. He totally took himself out. Nothing to see here. Go away, folks. Open. Case is now closed. Goodbye. Bye-bye. And I was like, this is such a disgusting type of memo. No wonder no one put their names on it. And then Kash Patel's like, oh, I'm not buying it. I don't have an audit. You didn't even put your name on it, bro. Right? Because you knew, and a lot of people knew, you were disingenuous and you're lying to everyone. And that is not nice. And that is not intellectually something that smart people will tolerate and accept.
List, our July 6th memo.
Going back to the Epstein files, according to another whistleblower who made a protected disclosure to my office, you pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records.
Yep. So whistleblowers came forward. Like, yeah, we went through the truckloads, and then they were instructed to take out Trump's name on it. That's the whistleblower was claiming.
An arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President Trump. Nothing came of that review until July when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memo stating, quote, there's no incriminating client list.
That's the weird part. That memo was so weird.
Why was the July 7th memo unsigned?
The July 7th memo came from the FBI and the Department of Justice. Director Patel answered those questions very clear.
He just said, I don't have an auto pen. I'm not Joe Biden. That's not really answering them. No one signed it. And it was just this weird letter.
And, you know,
saying, shut up, you're all wrong. 2 + 2 = 5. It might have just said, the memo might, I don't know. My goodness, my camera zoomed in. I apologize. The memo just might have said, why is this camera all weird? Anyway, the memo might have well just said, 2 + 2 = 5. Shut up, moron. Obey the government. We know what's best for you. And I'm like, that's not nice. Why do you say that? Why do you treat this like this? Shut up, weakling. And I'm like, that's nice. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that.
Senator Durbin, I find it very interesting that you refused repeated Republican requests to release the Epstein flight logs in 2023 and 2024.
That's true. Now she goes on the offensive. And true. Yeah. But listen here, honey. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But she is important bringing up these senators were covering this up as well. She's not wrong, and she's making a good point here.
You fought that. Did you take money from Reid Hoffman, campaign donations, who was a huge Epstein friend? Why did you fight for years? Why did you fight to not disclose the flight logs, Senator Durbin?
I can tell you I did.
Good question. I want him to answer.
Did not refuse. One of the senators here wished to produce those logs, and I asked her to put it in writing, and she never did.
Yeah, I think Senator Blackburn would quarrel with you on that.
Well, I will quarrel with you as to Reid, somebody that you mentioned I never heard of.
Reid Hoffman.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
Very direct question, right? Now they're quarreling, as they call it.
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this.
Yeah, wow. That's a big I'm not answering that. Why? Because it's her, right? Or the Ice Maiden, either or. Listen, she punched back. Good. Let's release it all. Yeah, like, hey, you guys are part of the government. Good, expose it. You took money from Reid Hoffman? Oh, yeah, let's look at that. Did it have an effect on, let's investigate you. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go, but let's do something. Let's have some teeth here, okay?
You took money, I believe, did you, from Reid Hoffman, one of Epstein's closest confidants, not only once, but twice in 2018 and 2024, if that's correct?
The senator's like, whoa. She's opening up a can of worms. And now listen, I release everything. We need the truth here. All right. Alex Jones makes a compelling argument for what's really going on here that I think is pretty much very accurate here. As Thomas Massey just came out and said, Speaker Johnson is blocking the Epstein vote on purpose. Crazy that this is happening. This is what Alex had to say. As he says, sources confirm the Trump administration is using the Epstein files as blackmail against the quote blackmailers. Listen, stupid strategy, not smart. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Blackmailing people when it's coming from children that were hurt here that were never going to get justice, as these people are probably continuing to do that heinous act now. Listen, some people are saying it's war, we have to. And I'm like, no, we do not. You do not become a demonic, evil, Luciferian child sacrificer for power, right? Because people are like, but no, he didn't do it. And I'm like, he is using and making sure that those people get away with it and are continuing. Listen, these people are sick predators that continue to do it, right? It's not like, oh, yeah, one and done. It's like a Pringle. One and done. I just take the Pringle and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm done. No, you're not. You're taking, you're being a fat, gluttonous, satanic demon.
We're not getting the Epstein stuff.
Yep, that's true. As soon as I was like, wait, they're asking the FBI to incriminate themselves, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is such a failed mission, failed operation that, in my opinion, if we're really at war, you destroy the biggest players. This is the argument that Tim Pool made that me and him had a big public fight on the Timcast IRL show last Friday. Watch that show. You watch our argument. Tim's making an argument. We're at war. Horrible things happen at war. Trump knows that releasing the Epstein list would hurt him. We're at war. I don't care. I want him to win the war. I'm saying, you want to fight this war, really? You really want to fight this war? You go after the deep state and you take them down. Vast majority of these people on the list. Sure, you'll have some casualties, but in a war of chess, you're able to mow down the most sinister, darkest pieces. You'll lose some pawns. You might lose some low-level players. Bill Gates won't be your pawn. Whatever. I don't care. But do you really need Bill Gates to win this war when Bill Gates initiated and then attacked you? No.
Plus, the Democrats have had control of it forever. We'll just get some disinfo. Because the CIA and Mossad were running that. And now you have the head of the investigation for 5 years. It started 20 years ago, but the first 5 years the head DOJ got over and said, no, Trump was never involved, none of it, none of the witnesses, but he's covering it up for the CIA and Mossad, which is totally true. That's Prager.
Yep, CIA Mossad. That's really what's involved here. And then he kind of delved into the bigger piece of what's going on here and how he feels about it. And listen, whether you like it or not, this is probably the more real type of situation and scenario unfolding here.
He wants to create a whole new system. He wants to be the guy that turned America around in the world. I want to be part of that. But then by extension, by him doing this, he has now joined in the crimes. And I just...
Yeah, listen. What you're using, abuse children for power, you're not the good guy. Right? And some people are saying in a war, there's no good guy. He got to win the war. I'm saying he could win the war. He could devastate all of them by just releasing all of the list and all the information. Yeah, there'll be some people on his side that get hurt, but vast majority, overwhelmingly, it's the Democrat, liberal, intelligence side that needs to be held accountable, because if they never do, they'll keep wielding these powers. And whether it's Trump wielding this power or somebody else, this is sick, twisted, satanic, demon worshiping type of stuff.
Just cannot. I can explain the thoughts. I know why he did it. It doesn't make it any better.
It doesn't make it any better. And it's hard. And you can see, Alex is completely, he's like, oh man, that's not easy. It's not good.
I know he wasn't involved. I investigated before I ever endorsed him 10 years ago.
Yeah, he actually helped out the victims. The victims for the lawyer came out, and he was like, Trump's the only one of the big players that actually came out and helped us out. Virginia Roberts Giuffre. He's like, yeah, I hung out with Trump. Trump was cool. Trump didn't do anything weird. He wasn't sketchy. She worked at Mar-a-Lago. Epstein came into Mar-a-Lago, took her, and Trump's like, yeah, that's why I had to cut ties with Epstein, because he was stealing my employees. He stole Virginia Roberts Giuffre. And then Virginia Roberts Giuffre was like, yeah, Maxwell and Epstein were horrible, disgusting monsters. She didn't say that about Trump. She exonerated Trump. I was like, Trump never did anything weird. And she worked for him at his house.
And I predicted he'd do this. And then not just Roger, others told me, yeah, no, it's hundreds of CEOs. It's billionaires. It's 90+% Democrats.
Yeah, 90% Democrats that you could wipe out, take out.
And that's how crazy the Democrats are, trying to play games and say Trump's doing this when they made a deal with him at the top. You know, suddenly you see these backhanded compliments, Hillary for Trump. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it makes me physically ill. Well,
Yep. Same. I think that's the most likely scenario. I don't agree with the people saying, no, it's war. We need to do this for war. We need to do this. Trust the plan. Trump's doing it for war, and he's doing it for us. All is justified in war. No, it's not. Not when we're going this far. And if we're really out of war, Trump could steamroll these punks. 90% of them, high-level Democrats. Imagine the world that we would be living in if we didn't have a government run on blackmail. We deserve a government not run on blackmail. And if you agree, share this video. I love you guys. I'm going to be here for, if it wasn't for you guys checking out my supplements, wearechanges.shop. Really great fish oil. Brian Johnson has his own studies. This guy's, listen, I don't agree with some of the stuff he does, but this guy's a revolutionary. So I appreciate all the stuff he's doing to revolutionize health, personal wellness. Take care of yourself. Lots of influencers are like, buy booze and gamble. I'm like, go take some vitamins and work out and go get some good sleep. All right. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/weare.